There ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down.
GWD calling the shots. GWD playing the game. Welcome back to another episode of the Media Villains. This is episode 3, part 2. Saturday in episode 3, part 1, we talked about Zach Stacy's case. Today, we are going to talk about more of the fun stuff.
What is fun? Let me spell it for you. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anywhere and anytime at all.
No Hollywood Brown? No problem. No Lamar Jackson? No problem. The Ravens took care of business against the Chicago Cubs. Yes, I said the Chicago Cubs because they do not deserve to have a fearsome name like the Bears. Like, when was the last time the Bears actually played like the Bears? Since they were in the 46th Bear in the mid-80s. Matt Nagy is a fake offensive genius. He just is. Like, their offense cannot score points, and I feel bad for Chicago Bears fans. And I am starting to believe that Mitchell Trubisky wasn't even the problem. If you want to look up the Baltimore Ravens in the dictionary, it will read perseverance, because the fact that they're playing this well with all these injuries, it shows you how much the players love Jim Harbaugh. And Tyler Huntley, man, was I impressed, especially for a guy that had to start at the last minute. Tyler Huntley's arm strength, I believe, is underrated. And the way that he handled pressure, that interception wasn't his fault, to be truly honest. That was just a very athletic play by that Bears defender. But besides that, he led him to a game-winning drive, and he did not make that many mistakes. Great hard-fought win by Baltimore. Cam Newton played extremely well. I was impressed. Actually, I wasn't impressed. I actually expect Cam Newton to play well. It's the media that always hates on Cam Newton. I actually support players like Cam Newton, and I never really doubt him. But we have to put some respect on Taylor Heinicke's name. Last week, he beat my beloved Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then this week, he beat the Carolina Panthers. This was an emotional week for Cam Newton and Ron Rivera, and I like the fact that the Washington football team did not let that be a distraction. They just took care of business. And believe it or not, I see that after the Packers game, you see that Taylor Heinicke has gotten significantly better, and he has some similarities to Brett Favre, in my opinion. Now, I know it's too early to say, and I'm not really calling him Brett Favre now, but if he keeps playing like this, the Washington football team is going to be very dangerous down the stretch. I mean, last week, they put together a 19-play drive against the Buccaneers, and that was the best drive that I've seen all year. Like, that is something that if the Washington football team does in the playoffs, watch out. Jonathan Taylor is the balance that Carson Wentz needed his entire career. When Carson Wentz was at Philadelphia, he could never have a solid running game, and his receiving core was always injured or he was injured. It was just a mess in Philadelphia. Here with the Colts, I feel like he has a lot of balance with the running game. He has Michael Pittman Jr. He has some sort of consistency, and you are seeing that with the Colts, and it seems like they're finding their own. They blew out. They destroyed the Buffalo Bills, a team that the media hyped so much this offseason. And I know that the season is not over yet, but so far, I am very disappointed in the Buffalo Bills. Now, as far as Jonathan Taylor is concerned, if Andrew Luck had Jonathan Taylor, then I believe in the Andrew Luck era, the Colts fans would have seen a Super Bowl, because Andrew Luck did not have this type of running game. It just seemed like Andrew Luck was doing too much, and that's what caused him to be injured a lot, because the Colts were always throwing the football. And with Jonathan Taylor's performance against Buffalo, All I can say is that I hope he stays healthy. I hope that Jonathan Taylor can learn from Frank Gore.
What happened?
I do not know what is going on with the Seattle Seahawks, but then maybe I do. It's obvious that Russell Wilson has came off an injury, so it's natural that he is going to look rusty, and you can tell that this team is trying to find their groove. But man, this is the worst I have seen Russell Wilson in his career. Russell Wilson quoted, "This is a pretty hard day. It's a pretty hard couple of weeks. It's good we are feeling it right now and that we know we're up against it. But what I also do know is I think about my dad when he was on his deathbed. That's what I was thinking about when I came back in the locker room. What we are up against is not harder than that. He lived another 3.5 years when they told him that he had 12 to 18 hours to live. So for me, I have 7 games. Sounds good to me. Well, it is not getting any easier for the Seahawks because they face a red-hot Washington football team that looks to ruin the Seattle Seahawks' hopes once again. I'm sorry, but it seems like the Seahawks season is over. You know what? Screw it. I'm not like the media. For all we know, the Seahawks can turn this whole thing around and shock everybody. As long as you have Russell Wilson, you have a chance. But the Seahawks need to do a lot of adjustments. Whatever.
That finger should belong to me.
Yeah, well, you can't have it. You know why?
Why?
'Cause I'm number one.
Well, boys, ladies, the NFL right now, so far, is back to normal. The Patriots are number one in the AFC East, and they're doing it old school. The big contract curse has affected Josh Allen, and the Chiefs are good again, but the Chiefs do not look like the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs. They look like the Alex Smith Chiefs when they basically won with defense in time of possession. The Lions want to say hi to 2008. I mean, look at how pretty that record looks. 0-9-1. It actually sounds like an imaginary language from an imaginary tribe. 0-9-1. And basically, the Raiders are kind of terrible at the right time once again. It's like that halfway point of the season. It's like Raiders have this alarm clock like, oh, it's time to suck again. It's time to suck. Well, guys, it is time for the bonus level. What are these teams? Who are they? Are they poor, rich, or middle class? The Eagles, Vikings, 49ers, they really confuse me. I can't tell if they're good or bad, or they're just beating the teams they're supposed to beat, or whether or not they have a chance to make the playoffs, make a run. You just don't really know. So I'm just going to say that these 3 teams are the middle class teams in the halfway point of the season so far. Let's talk about some funny headlines. So basically, the New York Jets coaches, Robert Saleh and Rex Ryan, both shoot shots at each other.
Your thoughts on what Rex said?
Honestly, you know what? I've never met Rex. I've never had a conversation with Rex. I don't even know him, except for people who know him throughout the league. So obviously, if it's that personal for him, he knows where to find me. So
Were you surprised that he said it?
I'm not surprised by him. He's always got something to say.
I know that you guys probably already saw this last week, but I just wanted to make my quick take on it. Basically, this is very disappointing if you're a Jets fan. You're just seeing clown after clown go at it. Robert Saleh should be focused on winning games, and Rex Ryan, dude, just retire. You sound like a bitter old man. Then you got Antonio Brown with this vaccinated card situation. You see, Antonio Brown has burned a lot of bridges throughout his career. I think he had an incident with a moving guy, a guy that moved his furniture last year. This year, he owed his chef some money, allegedly. I don't really know. I mean, we obviously do not know Antonio Brown's personal life, but this is what happens when you don't take care of your employees, because basically the chef retaliated and ratted out Antonio Brown. So when you have a lot of money, whoever's watching this, please take care of your employees, because if you just so happen to do something you're not supposed to do and your employee sees that and he feels like he has been disrespected by you throughout the years, he is going to take revenge and rat you out. So be careful with that. You have Michael Vick in an article that says he is rooting for Lamar Jackson to break all his records. And I just love that support from Michael Vick. Michael Vick has matured over the years, especially after his incident. I don't have to get into detail, we all know, but I like Michael Vick's arc. Like, he went from being an immature player to a mature player to a mentor, and you can tell that Lamar Jackson really appreciates him as a mentor, and when I see headlines like this, it just makes me proud. Who is this kid? 6'9"? His name is Nathan Cox.
Oh yeah, I have OCD, oversized cock disorder.
I'm watching this Nathan kid very closely. Now, in the past, quarterbacks that are 6'7" and taller have not really played well in the NFL, from Paxton Lynch to Mike Glennon to your beloved Brock Osweiler. But you never know if he lands with the right team at the right time, with the right coach. Hopefully, Nathan Cox can break that stereotype for really tall quarterbacks in the NFL. Plus, he can actually run. Well, guys, that concludes this episode. But before we leave, let's look at the top 10 comments from fans that I've seen this week on the internet. Let's go.